streaming the show in 3, 2.
We ready right now.
Yeah.
All I know is this violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
How are you?
Hey, who wants to help me get this recorder out of here? I need some muscle over here.
You are listening to Blame Your Brother.
Hello. Welcome back, everyone, to Blame Your Brother, episode 266. The excited tones as we'll get into all that in a minute. Anyway, we are back after taking off. We took off last week. I did an impromptu stream about Tom Brady. It was fun, but we are back. We got a lot of topics to get into tonight, and in honor of the Groundhog's Day, the holiday that meteorologists just around the world cannot stand, we are doing time travel movies, I guess, right? The Mount Rushmore of time travel movies, and there's some good selections there, so we're going to get to that later, but lots of news to get into, lots of things to discuss, so we're going to go ahead and jump off the show. You know, you're watching right now on YouTube. Do that every Thursday night, 8 p.m., youtube.com/blameyourbrother. If you miss it, grab the podcast, every podcast platform on Friday. We are Blame Your Brother. I'm one half of this duo. I am David, a.k.a. D-Brew, voice of the people, Glenn Jackson, spiritual midget, and Mr. Wonderful. And this gentleman sitting over to my left, it is John.
Everybody, John here, a.k.a. Tico, a.k.a. Mr. PTI, Johnny McFly, and the Madman.
They got John Tortorella, a madman.
They do a madman.
Okay, he's a madman.
There we go. So let's kick it off. So we took off last week. John, why were we
took
not
off
together?
last week because my 2-year-old daughter tested positive for COVID. So we took a week off just to make sure everybody's safe and everybody. I've got to say that either that was a false positive or the vaccines work.
I mean, I would lean toward the latter. The vaccines work,
because
I don't think there's false positives that I know about.
You can't have a 2-year-old and an autistic 5-year-old in a household, and one of them have COVID and not everybody else getting it, and nobody else got it. I got tested several times. Every single time I tested a negative. Asher, all negatives. Robin didn't even have to bother. She wasn't showing anything. So, yeah.
I mean, I believe the vaccines do work. Once again, you know, to stress people, the vaccines are not you'll never get this 100%, but they do offer a shield, you know. I mean,
I feel extremely confident in them now.
Yeah. I mean, that's why everyone needs to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, but anyway, I'm glad everyone's good. People were very concerned because I guess I've just gotten used to people having COVID that I know. I mean, so many people I know have gotten it in the last month that it just became kind of casual to say, hey, we're not doing the show. Because people ask me, like, why are we not doing the show? I was like, oh, John's family, his daughter has COVID. And I ended it with that. And then people were like, were they okay? And I'm like, oh, yeah, no, they're okay. They're okay. It's become so commonplace for people to get it, you know. And hopefully we're moving on to where it's not as bad. But it's still, hospitals are still full. People are still, you know, this is not, you know, obviously, as I walk through my everyday life now, it feels like it's kind of over, but it's still, hospitals are still affected. And I said the economic impacts on a family, if your daughter's sick, like you said, you essentially have to take off work. You have to find, you know, your job is a big thing. So jobs, schools, things like that. So we're still in it, but I have hope that as we move forward. So I'm glad everyone was okay and we move on. So yeah, but we, like I said, last week, spur of the moment, Tom Brady retired. I cried a lot. I don't know. I honestly, I just thought about checking out of everything, you know, but honestly, no. So I got on Twitter and I was like, people were starting to tweet me going, we need to hear about this.
Are you gonna be okay, man?
They were. We need to hear. And I was like, all right. And so then Kent Peterson, friend of mine, friend of the show, he's like, I'll do it. And I was like, oh, he's serious. Or I didn't know if he was joking or serious. So I was like, are you serious? He goes, yeah, I guess so. I guess I could do it. And then Half Pint jumped in. So it was fun. We got together and talked Tom Brady. A few people said it was a fun episode. So it was good. It was good to just get out there and talk about Tom, and we got the Super Bowl coming up. We got Valentine's Day coming up. It's a wild weekend. I believe WWE has a pay-per-view Elimination Chamber. I believe Saturday. I don't know, man.
So.
I don't even know what's going on anymore. There's so many things that now. I had my son's birthday last week, February 4th. He turned 14. Super Bowl, Valentine's Day. It's a crazy month, right? It's a crazy month. So, in that, everything going good.
Yeah,
everybody's back to health, healthy, wealthy wise. That's good. All right. So there's a lot going on in the world. We obviously got to get to these hot topics as we're going. And before we jump into that, I was down last week, John. I'm gonna tell you why. I was down about the podcast, and I have faith in this podcast. Honestly, I mean I do. When people are like, I say I enjoy it. I get to come over here. I get to talk to my friend, and if people don't like it, piss off. I mean honestly. I mean truthfully, but you start to ask yourself, is it worth the effort we're putting into it? Maybe we just make it simpler, whatever. So I just put on Twitter, fellow podcasters, our downloads continue to go down. I said, now, if we get to where only 10 people are listening to this show, I mean, it's not really, to me, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
We could do something else, a YouTube show or something. A lot of podcasts reached out, get rich, blah, 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 do this, pivot the show, which, I mean, I get you. But a guy that listens to the show who I met in an Uber hit me up on Twitter, and he gave like a very look, I appreciate honesty, right? I do. I mean, it may be hard to take in. And when Lee left the show, me and John both are going to act like, yeah, we know. Like, people stopped listening when Lee left the show because the dynamic changed. I understand that, and it took us some timing to get back to where we're at. I think it's great now. I think we have a good thing going, but it may not be for everyone. That's fine. The shows I listen to a lot of time are not for everyone as well. So I'm kind of an oddball. I don't like, all the popular shows like Joe Rogan, who we'll talk about later. I don't like that show. I don't want to listen to that for 3 hours, but that's one of the most popular podcasts there is, I can't even find where this guy left me a note, but he basically said, number one, you guys do not sound like you're happy to do the show. Like he's I don't hear enthusiasm in your voice when you're doing the show. I mean, what do you say to that, John? Like, do you have anything to say that? Because I have like tons of thoughts about it, and I'm not attacking this guy. I'm being serious when I say I appreciate him saying that. That is a way he listens to the show, and that was an opinion on it. But what do you say about that? Do you like shows where the hosts are like super enthusiastic?
There is something to shows where if they look like they're having fun, it's a little bit more fun to watch.
Right.
But I also believe that a lot of that fun is staged.
Right.
I don't think they're having as much fun as they're putting on.
Yeah.
And I don't want to stage that.
That's how I don't want to come in. Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Blah, blah. I mean, I'm out. I would drop if I was listening to a podcast and that was the show, I'm out right there. I like just people just
I mean, we're not Jimmy Fallon. We're more like, driving in cars with cigarettes or whatever.
Jimmy Fallon. Yeah. That is I hate that. I've become to hate this man, John. I hate just this. I don't hate him. And I don't even, I don't hate him, but I can't watch him because it's so ridiculous. Like, just the level of fake enthusiasm he has. There's no way he's that excited to speak with every guest every day. There's just 0% chance. Yeah. Now, maybe some of the guests, sure. But I'm like you, maybe comedians, cars. So then the other take, he was like, well, you guys need to start doing controversial things. And I just said, that's not this show. I don't want to do that. He's like, well, do you listen to local sports? And I said, bro, I hate local sports talk radio. Everything you're describing, I hate. And I just thought, well, I mean, if that's, number one, I don't want to be popular. I don't want 10 million downloads. I really don't. I mean, I know people are like, oh, yes, you do. No, I don't. That would create like a world of mess, truthfully.
Well, I mean, we have established a community.
Yeah, I would say so.
And you can't maintain a community when you have 10 million downloads.
No, even if we had 10,000 downloads, it's tough.
Yeah.
Now, I would take 10,000. I think that's manageable. I think anytime you get over 1 million, it becomes a grind to probably do. I don't know that. I've never had it, but but you're also under the subject of scrutiny like Joe Rogan is once you get to be too popular. And we've said things that if people grabbed them, it can make headlines. I mean, in the old show, 100%.
Yeah.
And then my show before that, 1,000%. There's things where I'm like, oh man, I think those episodes are gone, but I was a different guy back then, and it was kind of a shock show. That to being said, I think everyone has doubts about whatever in life, right? I mean, we have doubts about our job. We have doubts about just, are we doing the right thing? Is everything going right? And I think sometimes it's good just to put it out and to get people's thoughts on it and just see what they think. And not all, you're not going to take every criticism and run with it, is how I look at it. But some of it you can go, okay, well, maybe I just, I don't know. I don't know that the average person, what they listen to a podcast is what I'm looking for in a podcast. And I'm creating a show that I would want to listen to. Yeah. So maybe I'm just an oddball, but just wanted to get that out there. But I do appreciate him doing that. Honestly, I mean, he was man enough. I can't find the tweet. That's so weird. He was man enough to put it out there. And a lot of people didn't. And a lot of people think that, I'm sure, but they didn't say it. Yeah. So if you ever have an honest opinion about the show, I mean it. We'll take it. We may not change the thing you don't like, but I will definitely look at it, examine it, and see what we're going to do.
We do have a voicemail on our show, so if you don't feel like typing,
that's true.
You can leave a voicemail.
Just go to the website BYB Pod. Just hit there's a little button. Just click it and go there. All right. Well, let's get to the news, man. Let's talk. So we talked about Joe Rogan, man. Dude, since you left, this thing has gone off the rails, man. When we left, where were we at with this? We were just at Neil Young leaving the platform, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
that's it.
So in 2 weeks, man, they discovered that this guy had been using the N-word over the last several years. I would say liberally. Like, I'm not going to play the 4-minute clip that someone put together of him dropping the N-word. I would say if someone can find a 4-minute clip of you saying the N-word, you've said the N-word too much.
Yeah.
If they can find a 4-second clip of you saying the N-word, you've probably said the N-word too much. Yeah. If you're not reading a direct quote, which even then, most white people are like, get out. Now, like I said, you live in the South, bro. You grew up in lower conditions. You cannot sit here in honest words and say you've never said the word. That is a bold-faced lie. I will say it to anyone. As you mature as an adult and you realize the power of words, that's when really. So look, if young kids are saying it in high school and they're raised in the wrong environment, I'm not going to hold them accountable. This man is old enough to not do it. Now, he says he was discussing the role of the word in society. But what I don't understand is he was talking about either Detroit or Baltimore. I can't remember. It's one of the two cities. He said he walked through these cities, and it was like walking through a movie like Planet of the Apes. Now, the racial overtones in that statement alone are just as bad. I mean, you could argue if you don't know the context of what he's saying, and he's saying N word with a hard R, brother. He ain't saying it like a rap. He's not saying like Biggie. These were hard R's in this 4-minute clip, all right? So this has come to the point now that a number of people are canceling their Spotify accounts, right? Neil Young left, a couple of other artists left, older artists, which I don't think will affect Joe Rogan, but Spotify has said, we will stand behind this guy. So that's where we're at. What do you think of the decision of Spotify to stand behind this guy?
I think they're making it solely on money. There's enough people that are watching Joe Rogan.
I would agree.
That they're making enough money to where these other artists, I'm not saying they don't matter, but the pluses and the minuses are still leading towards Mr. Rogan.
Right. And I would say this. I am definitely not one. Here's what I say. There's a couple things. Number one, I don't think it's Spotify's role within reason now. And everything's within reason. I mean, if this guy started talking about pedophile, like, and bringing members of NAMBLA on, like the group that's about, being with children, I think then you got to start having a conversation, right? Like, I don't, we may, like, here's the thing. Because, look, no one's for censorship, man. Okay, if this guy wants to drop the N-word, we live in a society where, I mean, he's allowed to do that. I mean, there's consequences for it. He's lost a lot of people. Their cancellation page has spiked people canceling their Spotify. So Spotify has to deal with that. But I'm not necessarily for him being censored. Now, I don't have a problem with Neil Young saying I'm out of here either. I think if you work at a company or you're associated with a brand and somebody's saying things you don't like, you have the right to go to the company and go, I don't want to be here anymore. I think it's ironic that a lot of conservatives are upset about this, but yet they are banning books in school. The graphic novel Mouse got banned. They don't want to see critical race theory. They don't want to talk about racism in America being taught. It's just like everybody's pointing at each other. The left, the right, everything. And there's no right answer to any universal thing. Do I like Joe Rogan personally? No. Do I listen to podcasts? No. Do I think other people should be allowed to listen to him? Sure. And if you're stupid enough to go get medical advice, as Aaron Rodgers and other people have done, if you're stupid enough to go to this man who has no medical degrees that I'm aware of, that he's never talked about, then you're kind of an idiot. And so maybe you're going to get what's coming to you. Is it? I agree with people. It's unhealthy. I understand that. But unhealthy does not mean it should necessarily be kicked out of society. McDonald's isn't healthy for you. But, billion served. I mean, what are you going to do? Yeah. This is where the basis of most conservatives who are a little bit progressive call themselves libertarians. Like, they're like, well, blah, blah. And I get that. And Joe Rogan speaks to that base. I don't know, man. I've always thought the guy was kind of a dope. I've never understood. I mean, he's had Alex Jones on. He's had a bunch of these conspiracy theorists guy on. And I've heard people, like, oh, come on, man. He's deep, man. Is he deep, dude? I mean, give me a couple of joints. Give me a microphone. Give me a couple of weird guests. I mean, anyone's going to seem deep, right? I mean, Is that all it takes? I'm just asking. The biggest concern I have with America right now is a lot of these people, such as Rogan, Fox, I would even say some people on MSNBC, when they say, I'm just asking questions, man. I'm just asking questions is code for this is what I believe, but I don't have the guts to say it. I'm just, hey, does the vaccine work? I don't know. I'm just asking questions. Like, well, that's not your job to ask questions. Your job as a news person is to give me answers. Like, So that's the Joe Rogan situation. It is, like I said, so apparently a conservative platform has offered him $100 million to sign with them, and he said he's going to save with Spotify. So I could look for you, brother. I mean, that's all I got to say. Now, the crazy story, I can't even believe this is true, and it involves Trump, so you got to believe it's true. Yeah. But our former president, our former commander-in-chief, I think he's in a bit of hot water this week. Number one, he has been accused. The first article I read, I can't believe these are real, John. I literally, I'm at the point now where I have to click on these articles and go, is this an onion piece or is this real? A person wrote a book and said I don't even think this person wrote the book said this. I think someone inside his camp said this, and the person who wrote the book uncovered it. He was eating, taking these papers, these documents he did not want uncovered, and eating them. Okay, you're like, that's pretty bad, right?
No.
Came out this week that the plumbers at the White House discovered that he was flushing paper, not toilet paper down the toilet and causing stoppages frequently. I'm sorry. What? Is this guy a dummy or what? I mean,
yeah.
And they also discovered that he probably has taken a lot of documents down to his Florida location, and nobody seems to know what they are. And he has kept letters between himself and Kim Jong-un of North Korea, like love letters, but platonic love letters.
Yeah.
Do you believe any of these stories to be true? Do you believe Trump ate the documents?
I mean, it's unfortunate to say. If you take the word Trump out and put Kanye in,
right,
it's still all just as believable.
That's true. That's true. But if we put Obama in, you're like, no,
yeah,
right?
that's not. Yeah,
but you're right. If you put Kanye in or you put Trump in, it does seem believable. This is a grown man now. This man is double almost our age, John.
Mm-hmm.
He is flushing whatever the reason. Okay, let's just say it's not classified documents. Let's just say it's not classified documents. Let's just say it's just paper he's read. It's paper like this. Why is this man flushing paper down the toilet? You know not to do that. My children know not to do that.
Yeah.
My statement.
I mean, my thing is when you have that silver spoon your whole life.
That's true.
There's some things that
I guess you can.
You just don't need to know. It just doesn't come up.
I guess you got a point, man.
Why would a rich person have paper in the bathroom?
That's true. That's John. You've asked a good question there. Why would a rich person have paper in the toilet? I mean, if that's his way of disposing of documents, this guy's going to get caught 100%.
I mean,
like,
I'm willing to bet that he probably has flushed marijuana or something down the toilet.
He says he's never done drugs. Take that for what it is. I mean, I don't.
He should have.
What all has he probably flushed out of the toilet? That's probably a good documentary.
But I mean, everybody's like heard a story where someone's done something like that.
Right.
So he's probably figured, if they can get rid of drugs that way, I can get rid of these unwanted
these classified documents,
pieces of paper.
So they've discovered since that call logs are missing on January 6th that he made. My theory is that something's about to happen. You've seen Mitch McConnell, who is a Republican stooge. If you don't know who that is, he's one of the representatives. A Republican looks like Darth Sidious without the hood on. I mean, his hands are literally, in some pictures, I know people think I'm making this up, are literally decomposing or something. It looks like he has frostbite on his hands. I think he has a medical condition. He looks like a turtle. But anyway, he came out and basically just said, no, these attacks on January 6th were, I don't know his exact wordage, but he's like, this is bad. We can't sit here and act like this guy was not basically responsible for this. So so something may be coming down the pipeline for him. I don't know. And then another story, we discovered this week Bob Saget's death was caused by head trauma. Wow. Is this world crazy enough, man? Like, of all the things you can die from, cancer, heart attack, stroke, an aneurysm, they're saying he hit his head on something and he died while sleeping. What is this, man?
I mean, that could be like if it caused a concussion and he went to sleep.
Yeah.
That could happen.
They said he could have hit the headboard hard enough, and basically fractured a blood capsule or something. Is this what we got to worry about now? My God, man. Whoever you believe in, God, the creator, Allah, whoever, why did this man make it so rough out here, man? It is hard out here to stay alive, dude. Like, so that is true. But I just want to say, because a lot of people, oh, man, Saget was doing drugs, man. Well, no, he wasn't. No drugs were found in his system. Yeah. So just watch your mouth. That's about all the news I got. Let's talk about a show we're both watching. I know you're not watching Boba Fett.
Not yet.
Series finale was out yesterday. Fantastic. You got to watch it. We got to discuss this. Crazy stuff's happening. But the show we're going to talk about crazier things happen. Let's talk a little Peacemaker real quick. Peacemaker, HBO Max series starring John Cena, you can't see me, as the titular Peacemaker, is a spinoff of the Suicide Squad, the second movie, The Suicide Squad. Stars John Cena, like I says, Peacemaker, and he is been tasked to stop something going on in the world. I guess I'll say that. I don't know how deep we'll get into this. I don't think he's trying to stop bad guys. Let's just say that. So we want to talk about this for a minute, because I told you I watched the first episode. Now I came in and said, I don't know about this, John. I don't know if I like this show or not. 2 weeks later, I'm like, this show's amazing. And I've said, I think it took me, the first episode, I had to really get adjusted to what was going on here. I was watching Hawkeye. I just watched Hawkeye. That's a very straightforward series, you know. And then I jump into this, and it's wacky in a word. I mean, that's you know. So that's what are your thoughts of this show as it moving on right now? Are you giving high praise? Is it middle, or is it eh?
You've got to have a taste for that kind of show. It's not a straightforward superhero show.
Mm-mm.
And it kind of reminds me of late 90s Adult Swim programming.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of your Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
But yes, live action for sure.
If you liked that show, put John Cena in it.
Right.
And it's live action, and that's kind of the way the show is.
Now I gotta say, I love wrestling. John loves wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I love Cena. I didn't always love his character in wrestling, but I love what he did for wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't dispute that. I was a little worried about John Cena being the main guy. I said, this is quite a task. I mean, they're asking you to carry this series. I think the last episode and the one before that, I said, I think this guy can actually act. I was like, I think he's actually doing like a really good job on the series. Like, it's kind of crazy. But
he's very consistent with the character.
Yes.
And to be able to do that with that kind of character, it takes some chops.
Oh yeah. And it's gory. It's violent. It's R-rated, horror R-rated.
Yeah, you're not gonna scratch your head and wonder why it's rated R.
No, this is not for the kids. But I want to talk about John, my favorite character on this series, without a shadow of a doubt. No doubt.
Vigilante.
Vigilante is my favorite character. I would put him in the guy playing him, the way he's playing this character. He is in my top 10 superheroes in TV or movie of all time. I love this guy so much. Now, I read the series Vigilante growing up. This is not what it was.
No.
This Vigilante, if you're still with us, was basically a Punisher knockoff from DC Comics.
Mm-hmm.
It was a guy that was just going around killing bad guys. All right, whatever. This guy in this series is I don't even know how you would describe this guy. This guy is a serial killer, essentially. Like, he's not a serial... Well, yeah, I mean, I would say he's a serial killer who believes he's on the side of justice, which is very important to note there. If this was Dungeons & Dragons, I don't even know what alignment this dude would be. I mean, are you going to say this guy's lawful evil? I mean, because he doesn't believe he's evil, John. He believes he's good. He believes he only kills you if you break the law. Now,
the problem is it doesn't matter what that law is.
That's what I'm saying. It's never clarified how small the law is, because there's a scene. This isn't a big spoiler, but John Cena is smoking a joint, and he tries to hand it to Vigilante, and Vigilante says, "No, I don't do that stuff." He goes, "And you're lucky it's legal, because if it was still illegal, I would have killed you for smoking it." And that's when I love that character. I said, this guy is the best. Because look, I don't need to root.
There's a scene where he doesn't do it in the scene, but he talks about killing someone for spraying graffiti.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. So
I mean, so once again, I'm not saying this guy is. I would not want to hang out with this guy, but I cannot stop watching this character whenever he's on the screen. I think the problem is becoming, as they're trying to make Cena more likable, Peacemaker more likable of a character, this guy is outshining him in all these scenes, man. Like, because you're in this weird world now. This is not like reality we live in. This is like an altered reality where things like this happen. So I highly recommend this show. If you love the Suicide Squad, obviously you're going to love it, right? James Gunn is involved with it. But
yes, heavily.
And the bit players are all great. I think they're funny. There's funny bits in it. It's fantastic. I cannot believe we live in a world, John, in 2022 where a DC series is worth watching. I mean, because look, I've told you before, the Titan show, Doom Patrol, The Flash on WB, all those shows are just they're not very good to me. Yeah. Stargirl, they're not for me. They're for like teenagers, I guess. This show is for me. It is amazing. They're like, you know what? We're just going to make a show. It's going to be for 35 to 50-year-old dudes. And if people don't watch it, who cares? HBO can do that. That's the beauty of it. So, I mean, I highly recommend it. Do you have any more thoughts on it? Or does anything stand out for you?
I mean, it's a fun show. It's goofy. It does have those kind of out there elements that Doom Patrol would have, but I mean, 2 words in a nutshell: James Gunn.
Yeah, James Gunn. So if you love James Gunn, you'll be in for it. Fest love in the chat. What's up, my man? All right. I want to get this last thing real quick. I'm going to spend just a couple minutes on it. I'm on TikTok. You know this. TikTok star, blowing up, going viral, 60,000 views, one video. No, I'm not even in it. But no, I do love TikTok. I mean, not as much as I used to, but I still get on there. I think it's fun to do. The latest trend is there's a filter, and it will display a random Disney character above your head. It could be a bit person, it could be a main person, it could be this or that. And it's essentially smash or pass on these Disney people. And I only say this to say, just off the cuff, off the top of your head, I haven't really thought about it. I'm not saying smash or pass, but I think it's interesting because then somebody that we used to go to school with posted this account of this person who makes these realistic cartoon images of people. And I'll put this link in the post. It is amazing what they do. So they'll look at this is what Mo from Simpsons would look like. And it looks like a human, really good. And so they do the Disney princesses. They've got Anna and they got Elsa and they've got Snow White and I thought, do you have a type? If the Disney princesses were legit people, who is at the top of your board? If you had to go in the movie and you had to spend, you're going to marry this person. We'll make it PG. You marry them, spend your life with them. Who appeals to you out of the Disney princesses?
Probably the Little Mermaid.
Interesting. Now, why is this, John? Because let me give you pros and cons. Because I know what the pros you're going to give me, all right? Red hair. Number one, they're all beautiful, okay? We've established that you have to be a Disney princess, you have to be good looking. That's fine, whatever. Red hair, plus. Amazing voice, plus. Okay, you're talking the human version, I would imagine. Cons, she's a bit of a dummy. I mean, no one wants to say that, I know, but she's not the smartest person in the world. You're okay with that?
Well, she's taking out of her world. So, she's naive.
Okay. Naive.
To the nth degree.
Naive, stupid. What's the difference? She signed over her soul to be with a guy that she didn't even know. Now
she's 16.
Brother, she didn't even meet this man, brother. She don't even know who this dude is. That is the most superficial Disney move.
It is.
You could argue of all time. That's an all-time superficial move. But you're still sticking with her.
Yeah, but because most of the Disney princesses are in that same boat.
Okay. I'm going to give you my one. Now, let's just go. Let's run through them real quick. Snow White. I'll pass. Cinderella. I'm good. She's all right, but Cinderella, All right, I'm trying to help me with this here.
Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty. Same as Snow White. Then we got Little Mermaid. Then we got Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Mulan. And we got Princess and the Frog, Princess Tiana. And
Jasmine.
Oh, Jasmine. Jasmine would be up there.
Jasmine's my number 2 easily.
Yeah, I think Jasmine would be my number 2. But my hottest take, brother, and because I've seen this movie 10 million times, and I've always said this. I think Anna, not Elsa, Anna from Frozen, who is also naive, but so I guess I kind of roasted you for that.
Yeah.
But she's also voiced by Kristen Bell, so I've said that does help quite a bit. But I think I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to actually, you're right. Anna would be my number 2. I think my number 1 would be Jasmine. Yeah. But here's why Anna's my number. Anna, I don't understand why. I understand why. But little girls want to be Elsa? No, they should want to be Anna. She is the star of the freaking movie, man.
Yeah.
Give me a break here. She's the one that does all the heavy lifting. Elsa does nothing. She sings one song that a Grammy-nominated singer get to sing for her, and every girl's like, oh, let it go. Let it go. You just abandon your entire kingdom, woman. Yeah. I mean, are you, like, literally, those people are going to die, dude, okay? Anna's like, hey, then this woman who has shut me out for years, has not talked to me for 12 years. Not talked to, John. They live in the same castle. She's not even talked to her.
Yeah.
She still's like, yo, I'm going to go risk my neck for her. Come on, man. So anyways, there you go. Okay, so you're number one. Don't get me wrong, dude. Little Mermaid's definitely. If I'm doing the top four, okay, like we always do in Mount Rushmore, you got to go Ariel. You got to go Jasmine. I would go Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
She's well-read. She's smart. You can talk to her. Yeah.
And then I would probably go Anna, which I've already said. So that's my four. So what are your four? Are you following my three, and then you're going to throw in your other one, or are you just copying my exact four? I just don't.
That's a solid list.
Okay, well, good. There we go. So let us know who your top four are. But anyway, speaking of top four, it is time for the Mount Rushmore of time travel movies. So we're looking at the movies where some form of time travel was involved. It could be a time machine. It could be something not mentioned. It could be whatever. But if time travel is a key, this is my definition. If you have a different one. If time travel is key instrumental plot to the movie, I consider it a time travel movie.
Okay.
So are you looking at the same way?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, who went number one last week?
You go first.
Yes. Sometimes the universe, it lays out in front of you. Yeah. I'll just put your name as Lee, so that's even weirder. Maybe I'm going, okay.
Well, you're traveling time.
My number one, without a doubt, I don't even have to talk about it that long, but Back to the Future, Part 1. I mean, give me a break. This is I've looked at many lists. If they did not list Back to the Future at number one, I was like, this list is trash. I went to one, the number two movie I'd never even heard of. I was like, come on, this is hipster crap, man. Yeah. Back to the Future. It's literally in the name of the movie. Back to the Future. The DeLorean. The time machine. Messing back time. Fixing things. It's a perfect movie. It is a perfect movie. I could talk about this movie for 4 years. I could talk about it for 4 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
Time travel is everything to this movie.
It's a fun movie.
Yes.
It's highly quotable.
It's highly quotable, and it's Michael J. Fox, who, when at his peak, was the best thing in Hollywood that's ever existed. I mean, I want you to bring who you're bringing to me. Eddie Murphy, maybe, in his peak would be up there. I mean, trust me, that dude was, after 48 Hours and Beverly Hills Cop, he was setting the world on fire. But Michael J. Fox, who you putting up against that man?
I mean, maybe Tom Cruise.
Yeah, maybe Tom Cruise in the 80s is a strong one, but I still, man, Michael J. Fox, I dreamt of being that dude, man.
I wanted to be him when I was a kid.
I think everyone our age wanted to be him.
I think we were both Republican when we were younger because of him.
Probably so.
And family ties.
All right, so Back to the Future, my number one. That's too easy. That's a layup. All right, John, here's where it's going to get good. What is your number one movie, time travel movie?
I mean, every generation there's a director that comes out that cannot do any wrong. And I think, for me, everything this actor has put out, this director has put out that I've seen, has been utterly amazing. Some of the best movies I've ever seen. And so... What?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm going to say Interstellar.
Oh, wow. Okay. No, I did not expect that. Wow.
I made sure to watch this movie this week because I hadn't seen it yet.
I'm proud of you, John. That is I thought you were going to another movie.
I had to go see this movie because that's one thing. I wasn't going to put something else that I hadn't seen. Unfortunately, there's other movies that I think deserve it that I didn't get to see yet. So,
wow. Okay.
If people were asking me why I didn't put a certain movie on the list, it's because I hadn't seen it yet.
Okay.
But Christopher Nolan, oh my gosh,
he may. I can't guarantee anything.
He is a phenomenal.
He might make
director.
He might make another appearance before the end of this show.
I mean,
he may.
He has another movie.
I'm just saying he might.
If he makes it, it'll be on you because I haven't seen that movie
I'll
yet.
say safe. Okay. Interstellar. It's hard to even explain what the hell this movie's about. But I'm with you. John,
it's one of the best movies, period.
I've seen this movie probably 20, 30 times.
I saw it once. And I was engaged. I was like nervous at parts.
Yes.
I was in it.
Okay, I'll give you my favorite scene. All of it's my favorite. There's so many. I could talk about this movie all day too. My favorite part of the movie, though, and I don't want to give too much away, but they go down to a planet, and the time is acting wonky from where they're at to another. I don't want to give too much away. The stakes in that scene were out of this world, dude. It was out of control because you could put yourself in either perspective of the people involved in the time thing.
I think we could lay it out without ruining anything.
Okay.
They are close to a black hole. And this is actually true in science. The closer you are to a black hole, the slower time passes. Mm-hmm. So for every hour that they are on this planet, for everyone else in the world, in the universe, whatever, including people on Earth, it's 7 years.
Right. And so some people go down to the planet to investigate it, and other people stay in the spaceship they're on. And man, it's insane. I think about that all the time. I mean, I put myself in the position of the guy on the ship most of the time. Like, what point are you like, dude?
It's time to bounce. They're
not coming back ever. Minus the fact that what I also love about this movie, and I've read a lot about it, but John Lithgow's character, who's the father-in-law, is Christopher Nolan, and people have deduced that he is essentially people that are our age. The way he talks about things at the beginning of the movie, he talks about knowing really before the internet and technology would really existed. He knew about baseball games that he used to go to. And I think this movie is set like when we would be his age. I think that's when the movie is set.
I think the movie takes place
like in
around 2053. I think.
So
I think is what I saw.
Yeah, so we would be, we'd be about his age. Yeah, so that's what I love about it. Man, great pick. Interstellar, fantastic. So if you haven't seen that one, okay, man, my number 2. This is tough, man. I'm honestly, man, these are some of the greatest movies ever made, right? Oh, and I just, man, I want to pick the big hitters because, I mean, you've got to, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just going to pick the big hitter then.
No, you don't have to.
I mean, I've got to.
You don't have to.
I'll be back. You got to go Terminator 2, man. Yeah. T2, Rise of Machines.
That's not Rise of Machines.
Oh, that's another one. Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, whatever the moniker is. You could say Terminator, the first one, but I think T2 is just a better movie. Definitely time travel essentially starts off doesn't start the movie, but it's very instrumental to the movie. And what else can you say? I mean, you want a quotable movie. Now that's James Cameron. That's who I thought you were talking about. It's one of the great directors, which he is, but he's made some things that are a little bit iffy. But in this one, perfect movie. The only unperfect thing about it is the movie's rated R, and I'm like, why? I don't know why the movie's rated R. I watched it with my kids. I'm like,
I mean, I guess a little bit of the blood and stuff.
I guess. I'm like, is that what we're doing, you know? I mean, it's like,
It wasn't near as bad. I know the first one was definitely rated R, and that was way worse.
Right. But T2, man, you got Arnold Schwarzenegger, Edward Furlong, who one of my aliases literally used
Mark
to
Furlong.
It was Mark N. Furlong. It's got Linda Hamilton, who is badass in that movie. She is a badass. If we did like badasses, have we done that before?
Badass women? We need to.
We need to, huh? Well, she would probably be up there, but
I think next month is Women's Month.
Okay,
so
well, we'll have to do that. And then you got Robert Patrick. Is that his name? Robert something. Anyways, the guy that plays the term. It's a fantastic movie. I would say with a lot of time travel movies, Interstellar probably the least likely, but there's always one or two you're like, but I mean, if that happened, would this happen? I don't know. You kind of question it. That is the genius of Christopher Nolan. You're like, I don't really see any plots with it. I don't see any problems with this, but anyway. Yeah, so T2, that's my number 2. You got to put it on there.
All right, my number 2 pick. I went with just talent and just overall just a great movie for number one. So my number two movie, I'm going to go all out fan service.
Here we go.
And I'm going with Avengers Endgame.
Oh, I didn't have that on my list. Oh, okay.
Definitely a time heist kind of action going on.
As described by Ant-Man in a very hilarious scene where they reference a lot of
time travel movies.
Okay, so they're saying in Avengers that in this movie, in this universe they live in, with Ant-Man, Captain America, Michael J. Fox exists in this universe.
He'd have to, yeah.
In all those movies, they list it. Oh, I'd have to go back and look at those movies. There's no actors in those movies that are in this Avengers movie?
That's not the worst part. Is Iron Man, Tony Stark, refers to Thor as Lebowski. Who played Lebowski?
Jeff Bridges, who was in Iron Man.
Stein.
You're right.
Obadiah Stane.
Holy crap. So does that mean Jeff Bridges and this guy look exactly alike? Or is Jeff Bridges someone else in the movie? Oh, I don't know. My brain's breaking there. Okay. Yes. Avengers Endgame. Yes, definitely time travel. Very essential. They had a lot of fun with it. They had fun with the entire concept of time travel movies. Yeah. Any other comment? That's good. I didn't even think about that, man. That one did not come up on my list.
It's a fun movie.
Okay.
It's a great movie. Like I said, a lot of fan service, even outside the time travel aspects of it. But even, the fact that, Captain America gets in a fight with himself.
It's pretty good. It's an all-time.
And so, there's a lot of...
You can have fun with that. Yeah, you can have fun with that. Even though Back to the Future says don't ever do that. A lot of the time travel movies say do not interact with yourself because it could be bad.
It creates a paradox.
Right. But they've explained it creates a multiverse, I guess. So
yeah.
I guess that's okay. All right, there we go. Number 2, Avengers Endgame. Okay, my number 3, I'm going to go with just the one that got us here. One of the greatest movies of all time, Groundhog's Day. Obviously, I had to put it on the list. I was hoping you didn't grab it. But Groundhog's Day, watched it the other day. Just fantastic.
It's a fun movie. Again,
it's a fun movie. I think it and Back to the Future are perfect movies in the sense that I don't think you could add anything to it to make it any better. It's perfect just the way it is. It is the perfect movie. Bill Murray, legend, classic, icon, and just the idea and it's crazy because Groundhog's Day has literally spawned its own genre of movies now. Like Palm Springs. There's another one. I can't think of it. It's on Amazon, and it's literally time, what they call it, time, whatever, time period, whatever. There's a name for it, but basically, what if you're stuck on the same day over and over again until the freaking Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah.
And then there's one that just came out that's really good, and I can't think of what it's called, but it had one of the dudes from Avengers Endgame, the guy that played Crossbones or whatever. I can't think of his name, but anyway,
Source Code is kind of like that too.
Source Code. So there's a whole, but Groundhog's Day I feel did it best, and it really examined
Deja Vu with.
So it was the OG of its time, well written, and just really makes you question.
It's a lot of stuff in it too that outside that aspect of it of, who we are, why we're here.
Right.
And it kind of goes through all those things.
And what are we supposed to be doing? I think more people could watch it and go, what are we doing in this world right now? Yeah. When did compassion become uncool for people? I have to examine that. So I love it. I could watch it. I could watch it every year. It's a good movie to watch during Groundhog's Day, which spawned the list. So there we go. That's my number 3, Groundhog's Day. What about you, John? Number 3.
My number 3, I don't know if this qualifies, so I'm going to have to ask you.
Oh, boy.
What I am leaning towards, it's one of my favorite movies. I could watch this movie back to back over and over again several times. A lot of people don't know about it, despite it having a decent, well-known cast.
Yeah, give me who's in this movie. I want to try to guess this. This should be the new thing now. I'm gonna guess your movie.
Dennis Quaid.
Oh, I've never seen it, but I know what you're talking about. It's called Frequency.
Yes, Frequency. Now,
yeah, no, it counts. I mean, the way you've described it to me, it counts.
There's not necessarily time travel. What it is
well, there's not necessarily time travel on Groundhog's Day, and we don't. That's not. You can't. Is that time travel or is it just a time loop?
I mean, it's a loop, but it's still
right. Something's happening with time.
Yeah.
I would say if anything happens with time that allows a person to
interact
with people that they couldn't interact with, as you described, yes, that is time.
Okay, because I almost was thinking Interstellar couldn't be on the list, but I had to throw it on there.
No, and that's definitely one. If you are able, if any time does not work in the regular flow, like if you're talking to yourself as a child, that's a time travel movie.
Okay.
Even if it's done through radio, you're breaking the physics of time, you know. So okay. I would say. But anyway, describe Frequency.
Frequency is about a man. He loses his father when he was a kid. His father was a firefighter. He died in a fire, but he was like a ham radio aficionado, and he gets the ham out, and as an adult, you know, he's messing around with it, and somehow he ends up talking to his father in the past. And there are three main stories you can hear on the news throughout the whole movie.
All right.
One of them is about this serial killer. One of them is about the World Series, the '69 World Series.
All right.
And the last one is the appearance of the Northern Lights being so far south that it's affecting people that are living in the New York area. And that is the phenomenon that is enabling this to happen.
Okay.
Because the last time it happened was in 1969.
All right. And I'm sure all three of those come into play, right?
All three of those come into play quite a bit.
There you go. Yeah, all out.
And so it's a really good movie. Really easy to watch. Yeah, you need to see it. You need to see it if you haven't seen it.
There you go. Frequency. All right. Well, I wanted to put Tenet on the list, Christopher Nolan, but I feel you covered him. Now I do love Tenet. I love it, man. I've watched it multiple times, but there's one that's better than Tenet.
I think I know what you're going to say.
I watched it the other day. I love this movie. I could watch it. Maybe
12 times?
No, but it does have Bruce Willis in it. But it's not 12 Monkeys.
Oh, okay.
It is a movie called Looper.
Yeah.
And I love Looper. What can you say about this movie? The things they do with time in this movie are very, very cool. Basically, the concept is, in the future, a crime syndicate has learned that they can send people back in time, have them killed, hide the bodies in the past, and they'll never be convicted of murder in the future because they won't ever be able to find the bodies. But the kick is they have to find people to kill these people in the past, and then one day they'll get retired and kill themselves. I know that sounds like a lot, and it is, but once you start watching it, it's fantastic. It's Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who plays young Bruce Willis. Now you're probably thinking, young Bruce Willis. He had stuff done to his face where he kind of resembles Bruce Willis. This was, to me, my opinion, this is Bruce Willis's last good movie. I mean, if you look up and down the IMDb, this is it. This is the last good movie he was in.
No, you're probably right.
It stars Emily Blunt, who's also in another time travel movie. It's kind of weird, Edge of Tomorrow. And then she is a mother who's involved in it, and it goes from there. And if you've never seen Looper, it's on Netflix right now. Go watch it before it leaves the platform. It is an amazing movie. It's a smart enough movie where you can, some movie like Tenet, the reason I wouldn't put it on there, some people are going to watch that and be like, what the hell am I watching? Like, they're going to be so confused.
I think with Tenet, I haven't seen it yet, but what I've heard is it's something that you have to watch a few times.
Oh, yeah. No, I've watched it like 4 times. Dude, the first time, they don't stop to, like most movies stop to explain the concept. Hey, what are you doing here, Marty? Blah, blah. No, Tenet's like, no, shit's moving and you're either on this train or you're not. And if you don't get it, Hate it for you, brother. And near the beginning, I've watched it like several times. I'm still not really sure what's happening at the beginning. I think I do, and I'm like, I don't know. But Looper is, you can follow it enough. And there's some fun things they do. Have you seen this before?
Yeah, I've seen Looper.
And there's some cool things they do with a guy who anyway, it's a fun movie. Great movie, great acted. Looper, that's my last one. All right, so John, we're up to your last one, man.
All right, we got a lot of these really cool guy movies up, but we don't have anything for the ladies.
Nothing for, well, I mean, Back to the Future's for the ladies. Groundhog's Day is for the ladies. Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
it's
but
a love story.
It's still kind of guy-centric, though.
But it's a love story. All right, anyway, I'm curious. Okay.
Anyway.
Something for the ladies.
Something for the ladies.
What does that even mean? I'm trying to think. What?
It's not the time traveler's wife, but
if you say
it does have her in it.
If you say, I'm walking out of the studio. If you pick a certain movie, I quit the podcast.
I don't much want to pick that movie just to see you back out of it.
Who's the main actor in this?
Domhnall Gleeson.
Oh, okay. Now I thought you were about to pick that freaking Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock movie, and I was like, I quit, John. I quit. I can't.
I mean,
the mailbox, whatever.
We're talking about Tom. If we're going to mention Keanu Reeves in a time travel movie. It had to be
okay,
that.
What is the Domhnall Gleeson movie called?
It is called About Time.
Yeah, okay.
What it is it's a family trait apparently. Father pulls his son aside and says, "Look, we can go back in our past, any point in our previous life. We just have to go to a dark place, shut our eyes, think of that moment, and then we're there." And this guy obviously thinks his dad's joking when he's like, "You're playing a trick on me. You're going to lock me in the closet or something."
Of course.
And turns out he does it, and lo and behold, he can. And his dad's like, "Look, I can't stop you from using this power however you want. But I mean, you could go try and get money, but what's the point? You can try and do this, you can try and do that. You just got to know what you're going to do it for."
What's the point? What's the point of going back and grab those Apple stocks? I don't know, Dad. Never having to work
I would
again.
Definitely be there for that.
I would do that before I would do anything with love involved, brother. I don't care. Like, anyways, go ahead.
But that's when he tries to use it for
love.
For love. It's got Margot Robbie is in the movie as well.
Okay.
I think it's one of her first big roles.
Now, who's the lead actress?
The lead actress is Rachel McAdams.
Where's she been at lately?
Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah. That's a waste of a role.
I think it'll be a little bit, well, maybe not. I don't know.
We'll see.
But anyway, which also is a time travel movie, technically.
That is true. I guess, oh my God, there's so many out there.
But anyway, it's about him trying to win her over and the things that can backfire when you have this kind of ability.
Of course. Bad things. All right. About time. Let me run them down. I had Back to the Future, Terminator 2, Groundhog's Day, Looper. John had Interstellar, Avengers Endgame, Frequency, and About Time. Ones I didn't get to. I got a list. 12 Monkeys, for sure. Yeah. Edge of Tomorrow, for sure. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Donnie Darko, Tenet, Austin Powers is a time travel movie. If you're going comedies, and Hot Tub Time Machine. If I was looking for a comedy, I think Groundhog's Day kind of got that for me. What you got that we didn't get to? You got more than I got.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Star Trek,
X-Men, Days of Future Past.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Star Trek.
I didn't think about Butterfly Effect.
Army of Darkness. I don't know if that was a time travel movie or if it was another dimension.
I mean, it looked like back in the medieval times. I mean,
it
seems to be time travel. I don't know.
Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah, it's an old one.
Source Code we kind of mentioned. Meet the Robinsons. Palm Springs we mentioned. Tenet you mentioned. I can't even read that last one I put. I've never seen Donnie Darko. That was the one I was mentioning earlier.
It's out there.
If that
you haven't seen?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. So
it's you think Tenet's hard to watch? Donnie Darko's like that times 2. So you got to watch a couple times just to get it, but it's good once you get the Patrick Swayze's in it. Good, he's good in it. One of his last movies, I believe. So, All right, well, maybe you can travel back in time and make another Mount Rushmore and let us know what that list is. Chris did send us a list for last week's, but I'm just going to be honest. I don't even remember. What did we do last time?
Oh boy.
Yeah, well, exactly. There you go. I thought I'd saved it. I know I screenshotted it, but I can't find it. Oh, there we go. Last week we did best song intros.
Oh, yeah.
And Chris's list was Hot for Teacher, Eye of the Tiger, Stranglehold, and Nothing But a G Thing. There you go. Not bad.
Not
Good.
bad.
All good. Thank you, Chris. We'll look forward to your time travel movies. Super Bowl, real quick. Who you got? Rams?
It's the year of the tiger, Chinese
Going
New Year.
Bengals.
So we're gonna go Bengals.
I'm going Rams. I think it's going to be close, but Rams, I don't know. They just have better defense. I think they're going to eat up Joe Cool, but I'm happy with either team winning. I like two new teams being in it, and I like the halftime show this year. You got Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Dr. Dre. Let's go to that one. That one will be watched at halftime. And if your in-laws are over, they're probably not going to be happy about it, but what are you going to do? And Snoop Dogg today or yesterday bought Death Row Records. And apparently he's releasing a record called Back to Death Row or something. But anyway, so enjoy the Super Bowl. We look forward to coming back to you next week. We'd love to hear your time travel movies or any thoughts we had on today's episode. And if you want to go check it all out, you can go to bybpod.com. That's our website. You can get all of the information there. Tell us what you're watching, what you love. Are you watching Peacemaker? We'd love to know if you are. Tell us about that. All that fun stuff. You can go bybpod.com, past episodes, and that Amazon link. John.
Valentine's Day is around the corner. If you don't have your present yet, you are either in deep water.
You're done.
Or you are really loving this podcast. Because what you're going to do is you're going to go to bybpod.com, hit us on that Amazon affiliate link, and they'll get you your stuff, hopefully, on time.
Well, I'm like John said, if you made it this far without it, good luck. You're going to need it. But anyway, hey, Amazon ships same day. So go there, click that link, get those flowers sent, candies, chocolate, whatever, and go tell everyone about the podcast. That will be your Valentine's gift to us. And with all that being said, John, is there anything else?
Don't blame yourself when you can blame your brother.
And we're super excited!
Hey, man, we love the show.
Yeah, send your emails too. We don't give a... Woo. The end.